Hey lovies, it's me. I know I said I was going to get better about posting videos regularly, and here it is like a month later. So apparently I lied to you all, and I'm really sorry. But in true Kim fashion, I'm a little late to this, but I just recently discovered the YouTube Pagan Challenge tag that's been floating around the interwebs, and I wanted to play along. So this is me catching up. Luckily, I caught it in time, and I think I only missed 1 week. I think this is week 2. So this is going to be the video for week 1, and then obviously I will post my second video in a little while. So yeah, I guess let's just let's get started, right? So the first one is, how did you find your path? I think I actually posted a video about this pretty recently, maybe, possibly. I don't know. I can't remember. I feel like I definitely have talked about this before, though, where one day I just I've always been into the weird occult stuff, as my friends so eloquently put it. I remember in high school, being part of a club that was called the Phenomenology Club, where we talked about anything from aliens to Bigfoot to the paranormal to witchcraft, and I love all that shit. So I guess you could say my interest in it, I developed an interest in paganism and the occult and anything like that when I was younger. But I never really pursued it or looked much into it because I guess a lot of it had to do with like social, society's influence and, peer pressure and all that stuff. I was really kind of the black sheep of my friends. Like everybody was, I was the one that listened to the metal and was into the whole goth thing, and my friends were all like, let's go listen to NSYNC and, go be social. And I'm like, no, let's not. Let's just stay home. So I was always the odd one. And I think that's really what kind of stopped me from really exploring it at a younger age, because none of my friends were, and I was already odd enough. Like, I didn't need to give anybody any more reason to pick on me in school. They had enough of their own reasons for it. So I just kind of left it well enough alone until about, I think, a year and a half ago now. I finally decided that I was going to go ahead and look into it some more. And I'm really glad I did, because I haven't looked back since. And I can't really say that I started off expecting to be on the path that I'm on now. I don't think anybody ever really starts off knowing exactly what they're going to do. When I first started looking into it, I thought for sure I was going to be following a more Celtic-based belief system. And then I ended up discovering Norse mythology and all of that wonderfulness, and that's kind of where my path has led me up until now. So I have been silently considering myself not so much a heathen, but I guess a northern pagan, or Nordic pagan. I follow a lot of the belief systems of the Norse pantheon and their culture. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I have tried dabbling in a bunch of other things, like Wicca. Well, I was introduced to Wicca in high school. One of my friends was a Wiccan, and I don't really think at the time we knew what that meant, but I just remember her wearing a lot of pentacles and carrying around a book of shadows that she always had in her backpack that we never knew what was in it, but she had it with her, and she would show people. But I think she was just a Wiccan in name and not so much in practice. But I knew, based on what little I knew of Wicca then, that really wasn't something that held much interest for me. So at least when I finally started researching and exploring this side of this part of my interests, I knew that that's not what I wanted to do, so not what I wanted to follow. So that kind of helped me steer and find my way that way as well. So yeah, I kind of found my path by accident. I made the decision that, being brought up in a Catholic family, none of my family's really practicing, so it's not like I was coming from a really devout family, but coming from that belief system, I've decided, let me try this one, see if it works for me. And as I started reading, it just felt right to me. Like, as I started finding all this information and learning about all these gods and goddesses and, their beliefs and all that, it just sunk in and felt right. So that's when I decided, okay, this is where I'm going to seat myself. I'm going to park my ass right here and take it from there. So, yeah, that's my story. I know it's not that exciting. It's just kind of like a bunch of unexpected twists and turns that ended up being really awesome. So that is how I found my path. And I apologize for being a week late, but that's just how I roll, I'm late to everything. I'd be late to my own funeral, I bet. So here it is, video 1. I'll see you in video 2. As always, love and blessings. Bye-bye.